welcome back to another AMA hosted by StealthEX. We are joined by our CEO, Koby Lazar, for a deep dive into our partnership. This conversation was recorded live on X Spaces on Wednesday, July 16th, 2026. Please note that the views and opinions expressed in this AMA do not necessarily represent those of coinomiwallet and should not be considered financial advice. Always do your own research on any project we discuss. Enjoy the video and don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. Now let's get started.
For those who are unfamiliar with me, I'm Vadim. I'm your host today, and today we have Koby from Coinomi. Koby, yes, you can speak now. Perfect. Could you
Hi
please
everyone, pleasure to
introduce
be
us?
with you. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you nice and clear. Could you please, before we start with the whole session thing, could you please introduce yourself, your role at the Coinomi, and just basically a few words about the project and everything?
Absolutely, my pleasure. My name is Koby, and I'm one of the founders of the team who's been working on Coinomi since 2016. Coinomi wallet itself goes all the way back to 2014 as one of the first in-field multi-coin wallets, allowing people to store at that point Bitcoin and some other coins like Dogecoin, Litecoin, that were just straggling and getting along back then in one place. Since then, we've added hundreds of blockchains to Coinomi, supported millions of people, either as their first wallet or as thankfully their last. And we have just this past year been on a mission to reignite the core idea of Coinomi, which is an uncompromising wallet for your security, your privacy, and anonymity. So we have a team that we don't have any investors from the stock market. We don't have any outside VCs or investors at all. We're a fully owned firm entirely by the developers and creators and workers of Coinomi. And that's what really sets us apart and why we're able to still work quickly and support the projects we love.
Fascinating. Thank you for the intro. Wow, 2014, it's definitely a very respectable tenure in the crypto industry. I don't
Absolutely.
believe
I actually got
many.
started with
Mhm.
Coinomi as a user myself. So in 2013, I picked up a bit of Dogecoin, had some Redcoin, Bitcoin, and in 2014, I decided to put in Coinomi. After 2 years of investing and finding that wallet later on, I got in touch with the team, and that's actually how I ended up being a part of the team today. So first a user, and then a member of the team, and now I get to run the whole ship with a bunch of people I've been working with for over a decade.
Fascinating. Love to hear that kind of story in the industry. Before we go on with the session, for those who are unfamiliar with the format, we have about 10 pre-picked questions from the users from X. We will go over those and then we will open up the chat for the live ones. The whole thing should be about 1 hour, give or take. We will also be giving away some prizes at the end for the best questions, or I mean, not in the end, but after the session, right? And then, yeah, so tune in, and without further ado, let's start on with the questions.
Amazing. Let's get started.
All right. Alrighty. How do Coinomi's built-in privacy technologies compare to those newer competitors, and what advantages or trade-offs have emerged from over a decade of real-world user data?
That's a really good question. I think that one of the first privacy built-in technology is right from the get-go, where we're not asking you for any information, whether it be your email, phone number, Telegram, or Instagram handles. When you start a Coinomi wallet, you have about a 30-second window that you're just getting everything you need set, and there'll be no request for any type of specific information. Everything we do request is told to you right away and anonymized, so that we're never the ones holding the keys for your coins, of course, and never the ones holding the keys for your data either. So that's one of the things that first off starts and sets us apart from others. And then we have some other baked in features, such as the user specific keyboard, where we can give you a scrambled keyboard in case you have any malware on your phone or you're not sure if it's the most secure and safe device. We have all those different features that are built in to make sure that you're already from the start being educated about how to keep your coins safe, since self custody is always a tricky game. We found it much more helpful to work on Coinomi in translating it to dozens of languages and over 100 countries, so that we're helping users make sure they know what they're getting into when they start self-custodying. And we think that's more important than trying to hold your hand through a transaction where we can't be sure we know who you're sending it to, but we can do those early steps of prevention and education to make sure you're getting your funds to the right place.
Fascinating, awesome, and it's a very good point you make, saying that self-custody is a tricky game. It really is, especially for people who've been very um, you know advanced sort of in Web2 with banking apps and everything. You kind of get used to having that someone else is taking care of things. Your bank, if you get stolen, it's secured most likely, or there's insurance, whatever or not. But yeah, self-custody is definitely a different game for a lot of people, and it's definitely important to keep things to yourself and don't expose yourself, and have a good so to speak, online hygiene.
And you know what? A lot of companies right now, and I referred to a Binance chat from a few years ago I was sitting in on with CZ and others in an AMA. A lot of people don't want you to take their funds off their exchange or off their custody service like Coinbase or Gemini. That's because they don't have a real financial advantage of getting you to a place where you can trade more freely, manage your funds wherever you want to manage them. Because we're not tied to or bought out by or even in, you know, working relationship with any of these centralized exchanges, we have no interest in trying to keep your money on an exchange. We want you to get your funds off of insecure places and where they might get compromised or lost. And that's why we're already set apart from these exchanges and other places that want you to keep their funds there where they control them and they can control your keys and lock them up.
Awesome. No, it makes sense. Not having an agenda is definitely one of the very important aspects of being a self-custody solution for sure. Alrighty, next question in. Many wallets focus on simplicity for beginners, but Coinomi also serves for advanced users. How do you design features that educate users progressively, moving them from basic holding to confident multi-chain DeFi or NFT management without overwhelming them?
So I'll give the first example of how we do this, which is really even in the setup of starting your wallet. We want users to be able to set up the most secure wallet using biometrics and passwords and passkeys, but we also want them to be able to get set up really, really quickly. So something that'll happen if you do set up really quickly without backing up your password or your encryption phrase rather, we'll remind you along the way. We'll have different steps that the app realizes to help push you into a more secure environment, into more dedicated resources and tools for your funds. That's the same in our exchange as well, where we have dedicated settings that let you control slippage directly, or even when you're sending and transacting in the app itself, you can set your fees and really customize your experience if you have that knowledge. The second, though, as I'll mention, we have something coming up in the new updates for the app, which will be a really simple mode and also a hardcore mode for the application. Hardcore mode will basically turn your device into a lockdown version of Bitcoin and Monero only as a wallet, which a lot of people are looking for. You'll still be able to trade it, of course, getting out of that mode. And then easy mode will be something that you can use more like a Venmo or Cash App that really just helps you use any coin like it's digital dollars and makes it really simple for sending, receiving, and all that good stuff.
Nice, interesting. So serving for the hardcore privacy maxi audience as well as the regular people, I guess. That's fascinating. And can you use both under the same kind of application? So can
Yes,
you
you will
just
be
switch
able to
between
use
those
both.
two
So you'll
modes?
be able to switch back and forth. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, that's fascinating. All right, next question in. Coinomi has maintained a strong never hacked record since 2014. What are the biggest security threats you see emerging in 26-27, such as advanced phishing, supply chain attacks, updates, AI-powered exploits, and how is the team proactively addressing those threats?
So one good thing is that we're seeing just as much development on better hacking and better malware or AI phishing. We're also seeing a lot of tools that are released by even firms like Anthropic and other AI firms to make our products safer and to make the digital landscape safer for a true and tested product of 10, 12, 14 years. We know that for someone just starting up a new code base, it might be really difficult to qualify that. But thankfully, with our history and with our own penetration testing and auditing, the code base itself is something we take a lot of pride in and will eventually be open sourcing at the end of next year to really let everyone see the standards that we're using and why we've kept Coinomi so safe for the past plus decade. On the other hand, though, we're seeing a lot of targeted attacks, especially for new users coming into crypto, where it specifically looks like either in Telegram or Slack or other places in email, they are having a discussion with someone where clearly, after a few conversations, you can see that it's an AI bot that's really targeting them with specific information, whether that's been bought or found out on the internet. But those are the really sophisticated attacks we're trying to stop when they start. But it's very difficult once they're out of the application itself, of course, where that main threat vector is yourself. So early education is something that we need to be doing better. And that's why we're using AI to do exactly that. So when you start up your wallet in the future of Coinomi, you'll be able to select your entry knowledge and even maybe test out how much you know about crypto so that we can see how much education does the app need to do for you and how much helping you secure those funds can we actually start with so that you don't feel burdened with a bunch of jumping through hoops, but you can also make sure that you're getting the best safety that fits you and for the level that you're going to use Coinomi.
That is super interesting and very good point about the education. I think that's kind of where we are lacking as an industry. A lot of not just newcomers, but people who have been around quite some time but are not, industry professionals. Definitely jeopardize their own security by just doing very simple mistakes. People are still, having their seed phrases on Google Docs. I've seen that, seen this around. I'm sure you did too, which
Absolutely.
is definitely definitely something you should never do. But it is what it is. And education is a very important aspect, especially moving from that traditional, Web2 interface site when you have a custodian, whether it's a bank, whether it's a centralized exchange, uh, by 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 easing that experience by offloading that responsibility to the user itself. And yeah, education is the key here. And we definitely, collectively as an industry, I believe, uh, should all try to do a better job and educate new and vetted users alike.
For sure.
Okay, another question in. As cross-chain activity continues to grow, do you see Coinomi evolving beyond asset storage into a more comprehensive Web3 gateway, or will your primary focus remain being the most secure self-custody wallet?
Yeah, great question. And I think you can chew gum and walk. I think that what we've been focusing on in the past year, working with different ecosystems, whether it be Solana, Digibyte, even Litecoin and others like PivX, we want to be able to develop Coinomi so that it feels like a single coin wallet for many different coins. And what that means is that if you go and use Phantom for Solana, you're going to have a lot of dedicated Phantom chain features and functionality. But if you try to use a different chain, first off, it might not be supported. And second, on a chain like Polygon, you might not have Poly ID and different chain support there. So we want to build a modular product where developers ourselves, our own and others, can really click in and help us build out features into the app specific for the blockchain that you want to use. So that if you're coming into Coinomi looking to just use Bitcoin, you're going to have an extremely thorough capability set of ordinals, UXCO features. But if you also want to be using Digibyte, Polygon, and Solana, you're going to find their DEXs installed. You're going to find their name chain ID spaces. Pardon, you're going to find all those dedicated features as well. So we have a few UI UX ways of doing this, but of course it also comes down to how much can we support of development on the back end. And so it's really about finding a harmony that ties these two together. And that's what we've been working very hard to do in this past market so that we can be ready for the next bull to be that product for any user on any device for any chains.
Awesome, very nice. Okay, another question in. Coinomi supports a wide range of chains. What criteria do you use when deciding which new blockchains or ecosystem to integrate, and are there any major ones coming soon?
Yeah, so we spent quite a bit of time rewriting the entire app, not this year, but the year before, and that allowed us to implement chains like Sui, like all the EVMs we were lacking, getting Monero support back in the wallet, which was very important. But we do recognize that there's still chains that are missing and that need to be integrated into Coinomi. I don't have any announcements yet on specific ones that'll be joining the family in the next few months, but definitely look out for some more UTXO chain additions and some others that are in the Cosmos family, where we'll be focusing some of our efforts more towards the end of this year. So not too many new features about new coins, but we are happy to still be one of the largest wallets that supports the largest amount of coins itself.
Yeah, Monero support is very important, and like recently in the last year or so, I've seen a large surge in the interest for privacy and Monero and Zcash and everything. Even at the mainstream conferences, I just came back, well, it was already months ago from Bitcoin Prague, and usually Bitcoiners they don't really talk about privacy, but this time around I've heard privacy on every corner of the conference, which was very surprising to me. It's definitely a kind of a new narrative for more of a mainstream crypto crowd. And it's great to hear that people are actually taking their privacy seriously these days.
Yeah, I think it's something that's really grown out of necessity. And I think I also maybe didn't answer the initial part of the question, but for looking at different ecosystem and chains, we really have a few different criteria that starts with the chain's own security posture. We stake our record the moment we list a coin with that coin. So we need to know who we're listing. We need to know if there's actual user funds going there versus a token that might not be so liquid or active. We're looking for technical distinctiveness. So, is there a novel account model, signing scheme, or privacy construction that's interesting rather than just another fork? And then we also look for, of course, liquidity and swap routes, demonstrated demand in the market, and making sure that it's something that we can carry now and in the future as we build out our infrastructure and the chain builds out theirs.
Oh yeah, this is very valid. I've seen a lot of assets who just they become popular one day, and the next day they basically non-existent. And using your infrastructural power, your development power to onboard those is never a good thing because you spend a lot of effort and funds and development power, and then end up the asset is just being sitting there forever. It's definitely very important to kind of do a comprehensive research before onboarding a new asset, essentially, to any kind of
Exactly.
project, whether it's a wallet or a swap. All right, the next one is actually interesting. Something I don't know for sure. How do Coinomi's SPV validation and local processing contribute to faster, more private transactions comparing to full node wallets?
Yeah, so SPV means verifying transactions without downloading the entire chain. So you're pulling only the block headers and you're checking if the proof of work is valid. Then you verify your chain using basically you can read section 8 of the Bitcoin white paper, which is exactly this. So we don't compromise on speed. There's no initial block download, no multi-hour sync for your wallet. You're able to use your wallet in seconds, unlike a big desktop client. And on privacy, the operative part is local processing. So key derivation, address generation, transaction construction, and signing all happen on your device. The seed goes nowhere. We build locally and broadcast only the signed result of what you're sending out. So the comparison is that it's SPV versus a full node, and the answer is that just a full node is strictly better on, um, well, if you can run one essentially. So SPV trades full consensus validation for basically the ability to exist on a phone.
Oops, looks like I was muted. Fascinating. No, it makes a lot of sense and it makes users' life a lot easier. All right. Beyond parity with mobile, what unique capabilities or workflows have you introduced for desktop users that could make it preferred platform for power users managing large multi-chain portfolios?
Yeah, so the straight answer is that today desktop is mostly coming to parity as we get ready to relaunch our desktop clients across Mac, Linux, and Windows, being able to run it in really every device possible. Desktop has four things that mobile just doesn't. It has screen real estate, an actual keyboard, a file system, and a machine you might also be able to air gap. So every desktop only feature falls out of that one. For the screen, we're building real portfolio views, multi-chain, multi-account, multi-seed, one surface. So if you're managing a serious multi-chain position by scrolling a coin list on a tiny display, that's a bad experience. So no one should defend that. You should have a full breadth of options of viewing and portfolio tooling, which is what we'll bring to desktop with that large, beautiful screen. For keyboard and files, you'll be able to do batch sends, labeled address books, easier exports and transaction history that you can actually work with in Coinomi itself, encrypted local backups, offline signing artifacts. So accounting and tax exports is kind of a desktop job, and that's what it will be with Coinomi desktop versions. Lastly is that you can create air-gapped products. So that's the real unlock. Desktop is the online watch half only. Vault will be the offline signer. So we will be able to compose on desktop, move unsigned transactions by QR to another device that's never touched a network, and move the signature back. So Coinomi Vault is a new product that we're working into work in handshake with our mobile applications and desktop, and that'll be able to turn any device that's air gapped into basically a ledger or Trezor equivalent device without having to pay anyone 70 to 120 bucks for a piece of hardware that has to go in a safe. And lastly, a wallet on a laptop has more attack surface than one on a phone, which is definitely why we want to make sure people are trying to get their wallets as secure as possible and building new ways on desktop to help them do so.
Awesome, that's great, and definitely giving the alternative signing possibility to, you mentioned the hardware wallets that cost quite a lot, and we call them wallets, but what they are essentially is a signing device, and it's definitely very interesting to see those solutions coming up as an alternatives to them. Alrighty, we have two more questions left, and then we can take some live ones.
All right,
Many
let's do it.
competitor wallets have many competitor wallets have launched their own utility tokens for loyalty rewards or governance. Does Coinomi have a long-term plans to launch its own ecosystem token or transition towards a community-led DAO model?
We do not. We think it's one of the things that has set Coinomi aside in the past few years. Pardon if you hear a spaceship noise in the background. We think it's something that set Coinomi apart from other wallets in the past years. And if you look at those charts of ecosystem tokens that have launched, they have not really as well as most of those teams would like them to. If we find a token utilization model that really works for us and for users, then it's something to consider. But I think it's telling that the past years, most wallets have just came up with fee reduction for exchange swaps and therefore have gone by the wayside. We see a future of lowering swap fees and not increasing swap fees in handshake with one of our tokens. We always want to be incentivizing our team's business model and our product's business model to make more money when our users save money, and not to make more money when our users spend more on fees. So it sounds like a bunch of virtue signaling as a product that does have its business model mostly from fees right now. But again, we're really building quickly in the past year or two to make sure that, as you mentioned, we're not just a wallet where you keep your funds. A lot of wallets are really great at locking up your funds and putting a really strong password. We're all using the same encryption and different models from years and years ago. The next evolution is the wallet and the crypto tool that helps you get the most out of your funds, and that's where we want Coinomi to go in the future mostly.
Awesome. No, great, and it's a very interesting um kind of dynamic because whenever I go to any AMA session as a guest, that question always come up as why are we planning to launch a token? Why are we not doing that? And it's kind of the similar situation where it's mostly hype rather than utility. I've seen other projects and especially other wallets launch their DAOs or tokens, and it's a very rare case when the asset is actually bringing real utility and not just there for for some odd reason, whether it's profit maximizing or something else. So yeah, I'm kind of all both hands in for not creating more bloated assets. We have so many coins and tokens out there that are already not doing anything, and it's definitely no reason to create more. Uh, in 2000, DeFi summer 2019 or wherever, there's 20, so many were created, and people are like, yes, decentralized this, decentralized that, while they were calling them decentralized, but they weren't really decentralized. They were just calling themselves so, which is a very funny dynamic in my
Exactly.
opinion.
100% agree.
All right, we have last question and then on to some life ones. In 2018, supporting many blockchains was a major competitive advantage. In 26, almost every major wallet does the same. Looking ahead to 2030, what do you believe will truly differentiate a great wallet from an average one?
Yeah, I completely agree with the premise. Chain count is kind of table stakes now, and it got there very quickly. That everyone can support just about everything, especially with AI development now. It'll get a lot of younger products and old ones to the same point of we support it all. A lot of the differentiation is going to be in the customization of what you can do in the wallet, and also the backend tools that we're using to make sure we're running things efficiently and you know basically giving you servers giving users the best server access and conditions, not relying on third parties that might slip or fall at any time. So I think first off, our track record is going to really speak for itself for the next few years, and especially in a decade. Time only produces more evidence as to what we're able to do. 12 years without a compromise, or 14 years is quite a record. 12 months is kind of a press release. So there's no shortcut and no funding round that buys a track record. And I think that 2030, the great difference is going to be what users do when the users do nothing at all. So no account by default, no telemetry by default, no KYC by default. Every wallet should have a privacy page, and I think very few will have a privacy path that a normal person actually walks. So I think the last things that are coming in are recovery without custody. So it's still a unresolved issue. Whoever solves it properly, as in doing no account, no shard in a company server, no trust a third party step, changes the category. So I think this is a real last barrier to the next 100 million people using crypto. And something else that we're going to have to do, and that everyone has to do over time, is restraint. There might be new features that are cool and that sound really great that you can develop in fast, but over time they could really hurt people from crypto and from your product. So taking the time to develop things and really see where they might go and have their pros and cons is something our team has been very good at over the past decade, and will be continuing to do so over the next few months and years that we're building it. So the most important parts of Coinomi, with a lot of the same team from 2013, 14 that started Coinomi, understood the Bitcoin white paper then and what it means for our team, users, and brand, and we'll continue with that mission onwards.
That's a. Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Right. That's a great.
Yes.
That's a great answer, and I think while when we continuing through our kind of industry life cycle, the projects that are here to stay, that have been here through the good and the bad, will definitely get more and more recognition as we every cycle we see. There's a bear cycle, we see projects going under. There's a bull cycle, we see projects growing left and right like mushrooms, and most of them are just for quick cash grabs. But once you recognize the projects that have been there, regardless of the cycles, they've been building, they have been improving, they have been sustaining one way or another. That's definitely going to be a major advantage moving forward, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, let's get some live questions in. I see a lot of hands. Let me try to get someone who has been here since the beginning. Duncan, adding you as a speaker. Hopefully it will work. Spaces are never known to be working perfectly smooth. Oh, there we go. Duncan, you can speak now.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Duncan, I love the profile photo.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's part of the reason I picked it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So thanks for letting me speak. So I've been using Coinomi wallet for a long time, about 1 and 5 years. So you cover a lot of things into this space, but one of my question is that with the potential for tokenized real world assets exploding into 2026, what features are planned for Coinomi to support secure custody and trading RWS StealthEX without introducing custodial risks?
So one of the first is having more opportunities for users to onboard into those currencies and tokenized assets or WRAs or RWAs, and that's why we've partnered with StealthEX and different exchanges, but especially StealthEX for their wide range of support of these assets across different blockchains, across different markets, and of course in many different places and geographies. So that's the first thing, and the second thing is user education. If we're making good on that promise of being the place you get more out of your funds, then we need to be developing tools and different ways to say to users, hey, we're not looking at your funds, we're not touching your funds, of course, but here are some things that you might want to do alongside with your funds that could add health and wealth to your portfolio and to your experience using the blockchain assets in general. So we want to keep unlocking the Bitcoin white paper promises of reducing reliance on middlemen and third parties by increasing education awareness in the application. That might mean running free giveaways and campaigns with RWAs that we've worked with or onboarding into the app. It might mean doing YouTube series and AMAs or spaces. It'll be a whole breadth of things, but the first comes from actually supporting those assets and having them liquid in the application. And that's where development and connection with exchanges is really paramount.
Thank you. I got it. Can I ask one more important question? I have.
Yeah.
So, how do you anticipate global regulatory divergence in 2026 affecting not non-custodial service like yours, and what adaptive governance mechanisms or community voting system might Coinomi implement to respond dynamically?
I think the first dynamic response is allowing SDK downloads of Coinomi on our website, coinomi.com, and also our desktop products, which aren't gateway sent through any app stores where regulation can occur like that. We are set up legally as our company in Switzerland, where we're able to work with a lot of different jurisdictions and make sure that we're able to support our users. Of course, because we use Derivation Paths, you can always, or commonly used, you can always take your funds in and out of Coinomi using those paths, even if Coinomi weren't there tomorrow. But we assure you that our track record of 12, 13, 14 plus years now is what gives our customers and users such confidence that we'll still be here tomorrow, in a month, and in a year, because we've worked with these different regulation bodies before, anticipating their news and their regulations, making sure we are adequately responding and conforming both to our users' requests and those regulatory bodies. Non-custodial wallets have a very interesting place in the rules and regulations of both a lot of different government agencies and app stores themselves, like the Google Play Store, where we saw some regulation a year or two ago that got reversed. So we're very on to the we're very tapped into this ecosystem, and it's good that we're staying on top of it so we can help our users do the same.
Thank you. My colleague Coinomi wallet experience is so rock solid security and true privacy, and I believe in it. And thanks to StealthEX for hosting this insightful session. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Duncan, for the questions. Actually, some good questions. I don't believe we've touched upon the regulatory framework of this conversation yet, which is obviously a huge kind of aspect of any project these days. And we've seen with Micah.
Absolutely. And thank you for the question, Duncan. And also, everyone might notice I'm a bit stuffy today. I'm just starting to get a cold. I think this call confirms it as my sinus is closed. So I want to thank everyone for staying through some of my more rambly answers, but we're getting there, and I want everyone to get the responses that they're looking for.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, let's get a few more questions in. Definitely don't want to hold you more than we should. Let's see who has been here since the beginning. A lot of hands requested. Odin has been here since the beginning, adding you as a speaker.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, loud and clear.
Good. Thank you. And yes, my question is about, as the CEO of Coinomi, you are, if I'm not mistaken, also the founder of Eucalyptus Labs and the Koala Wallet on the Cadena ecosystem. So, with the crypto market moving faster than ever, I was wondering, how do you balance these roles? I mean, how can the users be confident that Coinomi is getting the undivided leadership focus it needs to compete against the giants in the market? Could you touch upon this? I would appreciate. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're actually in the process for the past 2 years of merging a lot of what we developed while most of the team is working at Koala. So my role is now fully focused at Coinomi itself. Koala Wallet, a lot of the technology and partnerships that we had initially set up and worked on are being merged into Coinomi. So our entire team is focused on one product, one direction. And while we don't support Cadena in Koala anymore, Koala Wallet itself was a MPC market wallet just for the Partizia ecosystem. That coin is being integrated into Coinomi, will be released in the next month, and users will move into Coinomi itself. So that's also around the time next month that you'll start to see a lot of UI UX improvements as those code bases have been fully merged and vetted and audited by a few different firms. Great question. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for the clarity and appreciate it. And good luck and thanks, mate, for hosting this.
Thank you, Odin.
Thank you, Odin. That's actually another good question. Honestly, a very pleasant session. Usually you get a lot of AI and stuff, but today people are being spot on, especially great to hear this from the live speakers. All right, let's get a couple more. I believe we still have some time.
Let's do it.
Okay. Yoko, adding you as a speaker. You have been here since the minute one, I believe. Up there we go. You have to unmute yourself. There's a little. Yep.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, all good.
Hello, hello.
All right. Thank you for bringing me up. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for bringing me up. Actually, I want to know. I was going through the website and I saw that Coinmin has recently been integrated in exchange to upgrade its wallet swap engine. So I actually want to know how does this integration scale up? Scale when users are scaling highly volatile or low liquidity long tail assets on the non-EVM chain like Solana or SU.
Sorry, I'm not sure if I got the initial part of the question.
Okay,
StealthEX, did
I
you?
was saying the platform recently integrated with N exchange, right?
Okay.
To upgrade its wallet swapping. So I want to know how does this integration scale when users are swapping highly volatile or low liquidity long tail asset on non-EVM chain like the Solana or
Well, one of the reasons that, yeah, for sure. One of the reasons you saw that announcement about an exchange, and a lot of the reason why we're doing an announcement with StealthEX and integrating StealthEX is exactly that. So we can provide more liquidity options and routes for people swapping in the app. And so it's all about having more partners and really more reliable and better partners to send those swaps to partners that we trust, not only on security, but in their response to users when they have a question. That's what's made StealthEX one of the real standout partners of the past year that we've integrated. We know we can rely on their support team being quick and fast and putting a lot of priority whether a swap came through their own website or through our platform. So those are some of the ways we balance out that risk and load and make sure we have everything for those lower liquidity coins.
that's I have one last question. Can I ask?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, you know that Web3 is become more competitive out there. So I don't know what's actually giving an edge or an advantage out there for people to prefer your platform compared to other competitors. And
So I think,
yeah.
yeah, let me focus on maybe three things. First, we're still a small and agile team. Crypto markets move with big trends, whether it's NFT, ordinals, ICOs, DeFi lending, staking. We'll be prepared, and we are prepared now more than ever to capitalize on building products that will fit these trends and help users adapt to them and bring in a lot of new people to crypto. That leads into my second answer, which is that as opposed to fighting for if we had a company, and there are crypto wallets that have a company wallet treasury of 100 million, 200, 300 million dollars, we could be spending $7 or $10 million a quarter. And I am referencing a company who recently has been spending like that on marketing. We could be spending a few $1 million a quarter on trying to get wallet users from our wallets. Because we would need to justify, okay, we spent $30 to get this user, they're now trading $1,000, it was successful. Instead, we'd rather spend 30 users trying to onboard 100 new people into crypto. And while they might trade $2 or $3 today, or they might trade not anything today, they're going to be users for the next few years that are investing with Coinomi, using the platform, buying new coins, seeing new features, and raising money with us so that we can again grow their wallets and grow their portfolios with us rather than just trying to find bigger people to bring into the wallet itself. So because we're focused on those new people coming into crypto, there are so many millions, if not billions, of people that have not started to use crypto and have not found the benefit for them specifically. And that's usually because they haven't been shown, how can this crypto thing actually make my life better? It's not just a pump and dump thing. How can this actually add value and bring something to my life? So that's what we're focused on building. And I think that's one of the things that gives us the competitive edge. Besides the fact that a lot of these companies that have all this money and all this, hundreds of employees, they have a lot of debt, not only in their, actual money they might owe to banks, but they have a lot of HR and things in the way of actually getting stuff done. That's just, we don't think that we're overbuilt. We think that we're just the right size for this part of the market, even after a decade of building and serving users with a smile.
No, that's
So I hope that, I know that gave a little bit in depth, but I hope that gives you a bit of insight into what we're doing
yeah.
now.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the answer.
Our pleasure.
Thank you, Yoko. All right, let's get one more. We still have some time. I don't want questions to start repeating themselves. That's usually
Yeah,
inevitable.
let's do another or two.
Yeah,
I
let's do
think
one.
Blueberry's had their hand up for a while. Should we get Blueberry in here?
Blueberry, let me add
And
this
while we pull
person.
them up, I want to remind everyone to thank StealthEX for hosting this space, whether you follow us or them or both. Make sure you are following both of us for a bunch of alpha you'll be getting. But more than that, one of our favorite ways to increase news about our developments is doing giveaways. And sometimes on Twitter, they don't get too much traction. So you could win a large part of that pool or win the giveaway entirely by yourself. So I would suggest following along and joining in on the action. So I think we have someone else for a question pulled up.
Yes, Blueberry is here. You can speak now.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I want to ask, how will users benefit from deeper integration between StealthEX, non-custodial exchange, and Coinomi wallet? Are there any upcoming features like one-click swaps, liquidity pools, or cross-platform analytics? Thank you.
Sure, I can't. I don't want to speak for StealthEX and their upcoming updates, and I can always say that we're adding more coins and features into Coinomi. But something that I'll focus on, which is a bit different, is the portfolio and tax and trading history tools that we're working on. We gave the order about a month ago to our backend team to start preparing a whole trove of tools and data points that'll let users more clearly track their portfolio and, importantly, track their trades over time. And the trades that they'll be making will likely be going through our partners like StealthEX right inside the app, and we'll be giving them details on when that swap was completed, how quickly it was done, what the slippage was, where they made money, where they didn't, automatic buys, things like that, which will add a lot of functionality to StealthEX and to Coinomi without even having to add anything to StealthEX. So that'll be a fun day for us too, to say, hey, StealthEX, we have a way that's going to increase users swapping, and we're about to ship it. Let's work on that feature together. We're still a bit further out, but that's one of the ways that this partnership is really going to increase users' ability to swap and their reason to do so.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, Blueberry, and thank you, Kobe. Actually, I do have something to add that I don't think we've discussed with you. We have recently launched private swapping routes.
Yes, private
Similar,
swaps.
yeah, similar. It's a similar solution to what you guys already have onboarded, but we do this ourselves. But we'll talk about it later. But we do, StealthEX, we've been, on the forefront of privacy since the very beginning, and kind of privacy is our bread and butter. We work a lot with different Monero communities and different privacy communities. And we do have a privacy solution of our own. It will be only available via some of our partners. Potentially, Coinomi will be one of them, but this is another day to discuss, I guess.
For sure.
Blueberry, do you want to ask another question? I see you still have your hand up. You can go ahead and ask another question if you want to.
No, thanks. Okay, it's okay.
Okay, thank you for your question. All right, let's get one more. I guess we're kind of getting to the threshold where questions starting to sound a bit close to each other. Let's get somebody.
Sure.
Let's get somebody who has been here. Who has been here? Well, looks like David is having some technical difficulties. Adding Lance to the speaker for now. Seeing a very active hand from him. Oh, David is here. So you guys are both at it. Just David, go first, and then Lance. Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome
Yes,
in.
hello.
Hello.
Can I ask my question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Okay. So my question is, how do Coinme but in privacy technologies compare to those of newer competitors, and what advantage or trade-offs have emerged from over a decade of real-world user data? That's my question.
I didn't get all of it, but I think it's about user data and privacy. And so maybe you can clarify. But first, I'll say that we don't collect any user data that you don't consent to explicitly, with a lot of information as to what information we're collecting, and everything's anonymized. So even if you were to give your data as to helping us optimize trade engine or more, we never actually see your device or user oversight of data. So that's one of the ways. But maybe you want to clarify a bit, and go ahead if you have a clarification. Youssef, are you there? Maybe unmute if you are muted.
Hello.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Can I one more question?
Yes, go for it. I think you are muted, but go for that next question.
Looks like some technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give Lance a chance to get a question in, and yeah.
Hello, please, am I audible?
Yes, welcome
Yes.
in.
It's Lens. All right, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Actually, I'm a user of your app, the Coinomi app. So I don't know, like, do you have any plans on integrating more network to your app? Because I'm a user of BNB and SWI, so I don't know if you have plans on integrating them in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We do support SWI. We started about 6 months ago or 9 months ago, so it's been a full baby since. So make sure to add that into your wallet. And also BNB, we do have under the EVM chain, so you'll be able to add those in today, with more coins coming later this year, especially those featured on privacy, such as Zano and others. But we'll announce those as they come, since those integration timelines can take a little bit of work and move as they go.
All right, thank you so much. I wish you good luck in your project.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. All right, I believe it's a good note to kind of wrap it up. Questions definitely starting to get closer one day to another.
Sure.
Do you have any closing words before we wrap this up?
No, we want to thank everyone so much for attending today. We want to let you know that if you go and leave Coinomi a 5-star review, please do it with a bunch of buzzwords so that people can see and access the wallet. If you do leave a 5-star review and send it a photo of it to our Twitter through DMs, you might just win a prize. I can't promise anything just yet. You'll be entered to win something for next month for sure. So definitely go leave a 5-star review and make sure you're following StealthEX. Lastly, if you also want to send a review on Trustpilot for Coinomi or StealthEX, that is a massive help. So please do exactly that on Trustpilot by looking up either of our names there. And thank you so much for hosting a great AMA with a lot of interesting questions. I apologize for a little bit of low energy. I think you're hearing me wake up with the coffee now, but really happy to be here and definitely looking forward to joining in some more of these in the future to learn more about StealthEX, what you guys have coming, and definitely we'll be in touch today and later about those privacy features that we'll need to be working on in the future. So thank you everyone so much for listening in.
Awesome. Thank you for joining, Koby. It was a very interesting and educative session about crypto wallets in general and Coinomi in particular. Yeah, what Koby said, feel free to go to either Trustpilots or apps and leave reviews. Don't forget any cool buzzwords. And then again, we will be posting recaps, both text and likely an audio or video recap after this. So or if you or your friends miss something, they will be able to catch up. And pay attention to our socials. We will be posting info about winners likely today or tomorrow. Depends on how our social media person feels today. Anyways, Koby, thank you for joining. That was a great session. And yeah, we'll chat later about all those potential privacy developments that we got going on.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.